All right, good morning. We are on to grade level mathematics. We're still looking at algebraic fractions. And in our class yesterday, we had a little challenge. Rather, I got stuck here. So I would like to start my class from looking at question 29 and then flow through to conclude this chapter. All right. The first thing we do is to look for the LCM, and then the LCM becomes 16m squared into 4m minus 3n. And when this divides this, I'm going to have 4m minus 9n into 4m minus 3n minus 16m squared into 9n squared plus 1. So this will give me, I'll open these brackets, I'm going to have 16m squared minus 12mn plus, minus 36mn plus 27n squared. And then I need to create more space here. Minus 144 n squared plus what? Minus 16m squared. This was where I had issues yesterday. I put that as positive, and that further created more issues for me. Now, at this point, because what you're dealing with is so large, just cancel this. This and this are identical, so knock that one off. And then add these two. Add these two together. So that will give me minus 48mn plus 27n squared minus 144m squared n squared all over 16m squared into 4m minus 3n. Right? So at this level, you discover that n is common to all of them, and n is common to all of them, and also, if you check very carefully too, 3 is common to all of them. So I'll just factor negative 3n, and I'll be left with what? 16n plus 9n. Sorry, this will be minus because I factored out negative, plus 48 what? M squared n divided by what? 16m squared into what? 4m minus 3n. Now, that will be what that's how best we can handle this question. We can't go more than this in handling this question. So this, I would advise to be the concluding solution to this problem. And then if you still got some stamina, you can dig deep to see if you can proceed more than this. But this will just suffice as the answer to this question. This will be m plus n over n plus n into n minus n plus m into n plus n over, I factor negative out, negative n, and I'll have m plus m minus n. Or let's take it gradually. I factor negative n out, and I'm going to get minus n plus m. So just to give you one extra line of work, so this will go with this. I'll be left with m minus n, 1 over m minus n minus m over n into m plus n over m minus n. So that's what you're going to have. So how do you proceed with this? Now, there are different ways you can go about this. I'll just take, but I'll take the simpler approach. I'll take LCM of n minus n. This will give me 1. This into this will give me n. This into this will give me n 1. Give me n. N times n will give me mn into n plus n. So what I'm going to have? I'm going to have 1 minus m squared n plus mn over n minus n. So that's what I'm going to get for that one. I can rearrange this. I can rearrange this and get an interesting answer. This will give me negative into m squared n minus what? M squared n minus mn minus 1 all over m minus n. Now this one approach I can choose to take. I can also use another approach because take note, this is m squared plus, I factor that one. I can also use another approach to solve this here and I'll get the same answer, but maybe I'll be able to simplify this part better. For the purpose of exam and whatever, you can keep it like this. I'm trying to look at if there's any other way you can simplify this to get another answer. And I don't seem to be able to get another valid method to use. So we can leave an answer like this and it will be to suffice as correct. I can also say, okay, I factor out 1 plus, I will have 1 minus m over n times that. By the time I simplify 2, I'm still going to get the same result. Okay, sorry, I think this is where the problem is coming from. I've just discovered my mistake. So let's take it back. Because I was wondering why that was giving me that error. Now look at this. What we have as LCM is n into m minus n. I'm sorry about that, because I was looking at it, I was wondering why something was popping in my system that you're doing something wrong. This will give me n minus n into what? M plus n. I see that. So this is the correct thing you should have. This will divide this, you have n. This will divide this, and you have what? M into n plus n. So we simplify this, and this will give me n minus m squared minus mn all over n into m minus what? N. So this could be your final answer, or you could choose to factor out negative, and that answer will suffice as your final answer. So that takes care of that, and that problem is solved. So with that, we have concluded exercise 17C. So we come to a new exercise, exercise 17D, and this one talks about substitution in fraction. Now, question 1 says, if x over y is equal to 3 over 4, then we should evaluate, it says evaluate 2x minus y over 2x plus y. This one is very simple. You already know what x over y is. So what you do first is to divide top and bottom by x. So this will be 2x minus y divided by x over 2x plus y divided by x. Are you seeing it? So this will now be what? 2 minus y over x all over 2 plus y over x. So if x over y is equal to 3 over 4, then y over x will be equal to 4 over 3. So you make the substitution. That will now be 2 minus 4 over 3 over 2 plus 4 over 3. When you do that, this will give me 6 minus 4, that will be 2 over 3. Over this will give me 6 plus 4, that will give me 10 over 3. which will be 2 over 10, and my final answer is 1 over 5. So the answer for the first question is 1 over 5. 1 over 5. So we go to question 2. We are told that P is to Q is equal to 9 is to 5. What this means is that P over Q will be equal to 9 over 5. That's what that means. This is another way to write ratio. So with that, we are told to evaluate 15P minus 2Q all over 5P plus 16Q. So what do you need to do here? You divide top and bottom by Q. So this will be equal to 15P minus 2Q over Q divided by 5P plus 16Q over Q. Everything over Q. Now, in simplifying that, you're going to get 15P over Q minus 2 over 5P over Q, 5P over Q plus 16. What is P over Q? P over Q is 9 over 5. So this will be 15 into 9 over 5 minus 2 over 5 into 9 over 5 plus 16. What does this give you? This will cancel this. That'll be 3. So that'll be 27 minus 5 minus 2, sorry. All over 9 plus what? 16. So this will give me 25 over 25, which implies that the answer is what? 1. So that's for question 2. Now for question 3, you are told that A is to B is equal to 5 is to 3. So that means A over B will be equal to 5 over 3. That's what it implies. Now you're told to evaluate 6A plus B over A minus 1 over 3B. A minus 1 over 3B. So how do you do that? Now, you divide both top and bottom by what? B. So 6A plus B, you divide it by B, all over A minus 1 over 3B, you divide it by B. So what does this give you? This will give you 6A over B minus plus 1 over A over B minus 1 over 3. So what do you have? This will give you A over B is what? 5 over 3. So this will be 6 into 5 over 3 plus 1 divided by 5 over 3 minus 1 over 3. This one will give you 10 plus 1 over. This one will give you 4 over 3. So this will mean 11 divided by 4 over 3, which will be 11 times 4 over 3. So what is the answer? The answer is simply what? 44. Sorry, 3 over 4, which will mean that the final answer will be what? 33 over 4, which you can write to be what? A2 number 1 over 4. We are told that x over y is equal to 2 over 7. So we should evaluate 7x, evaluate 7x plus y over x minus 1 over 7y. So what we need to do is to divide up and down by x, by y. Let me use y this time around. X plus y divided by y all over 7x minus 1 over 7 y divided by y. So if that is done correctly, this will give me 7x over y plus 1 all over x over y minus 1 over 7. And that will give us x over y is 2 over 7. So that will be 7 into 2 over 7 plus 1 over 2 over 7 minus 1 over 7. So if you solve that, this will give me what? 2 plus 1 and over what? 1 over 7. So this will now give me what? 3 over 1 over 7. That will give me 3 times 7, which will be 21. So the answer here will be what? 21. That's for question 4. For question 5, we are told that A is equal to D plus 1 over D minus 1. Now they say you should express A plus 1 over A minus 1 in terms of D. Express that in terms of D. So how do we do that? How do we do that? To express this in terms of D. This one is quite simple. So what you need to do is to make relevant substitution. So from here, this will be equal to what? Here you see A, you put this. This will be D plus 1 over D minus 1 plus 1 over D plus 1 over D minus 1 minus 1. Now, take the LCM. This will be D plus 1 plus D minus 1 over D minus 1. How did I get that? If I take the LCM as D minus 1, this will bring this one here and everything over D minus 1. The same thing is applicable here. D plus 1 minus D minus 1 all over D minus 1. This denominator can cancel themselves out. This is actually a denominator. When you are dividing, this is a numerator. This is a denominator. So these two will cancel themselves out. And what you are going to have will be what? D plus 1 minus D plus D minus 1 all over D plus 1 minus D plus 1. So this will give me what? 2D over what? Over 2, which will equal to what? D. So the final answer is what? D. So A plus 1 over A minus 1 in terms of D will be what? Simply D. All right, let's look at question 6. Let's look at question 6. Question 6. In question 6, you have that x is equal to A plus 3 over 2A minus 1. So we are told to express 2x plus 1 over 3x plus 1 in terms of A, in terms of A. Express this in terms of A. How do you do that? Where you have, now look at it. You have x equal to this. So first of all, see what I advise you to do. Take x first. X will be equal to A plus 3 over 2A minus 1. Will be 2A, which will be A minus A plus 3 minus 2A. And that will be what? 3 minus 2A plus A over 2A, which will be equal to 3 minus A over 2A. So that's what x is equal to. So simplify x to this level before you substitute. So once I have this, I can now come to say 2x plus 1 over 3x plus 1 will be equal to what? 2 into 3 minus A over 2A plus 1 all over 3 into 3 minus A over 2A plus 1. Are you seeing that? So watch carefully. From this part here, I can easily cancel this one. So the LCM remains A. So here will be equal to what? 3 minus A plus A over A. That's what this one will be equal to. For this one, my LCM will be what? Okay, let me take it to a fresh. Let me take it to a fresh page. Sorry about that. Let me take it to a fresh page. From here, I'm going to have 3 minus A over A plus 1 all over this one is going to be 9 minus 3A over 2A plus 1. I seen that. So what's the LCM of this one on top? The LCM of this one will be A. A divided this will give me 3 minus A plus A all over 2A. The LCM of this one is going to be 2A. 2A divide this will give me 9 minus 3A plus what? 2A. So what do I have here? This will give me 3 over A all over what? 9 minus A over 2A. So this will be 3 over A divided by 9A over 2A, which will be 3 over A times 2A over 9 minus A. A will go with A, and my final answer becomes what?